to know why you kinda suck at trading. Now, before we get into the nit and gritty of everything, I want to bring up some foundational principles before we get too much into the video so you can have an understanding throughout the video. So first things first, we're going to talk about is matter. Now, matter is anything that is structured enough to produce an effect. So a chair is just structured wood for it then to produce the effect of support. An iPhone, iPad, or laptop or whatever is just structured materials to then produce communication. So that tells us that a particular structure gives us a particular outcome, and your thoughts work the exact same way. Now, a single thought has the potential of becoming something, but when a thought is being constantly repeated or is emotionally reinforced, it then begins to create a structure inside of you. Now, before it can actually come into your reality, it has to go through something, which we like to call your identity, because your identity is the filter between your reality and your thoughts. Now, what does your identity consist of? Right? That's the question. What does your identity consist of? Identity consists of your habitual habits, your emotional convictions, and your subconscious beliefs. Alright. So let's say consciously you want to say you want more money, you want more love, you want more freedom, whatever. That's a conscious thought. Likely it's a conscious thought, but that thought still has to pass through the structure of your identity. And if your identity is not aligned with the thought that you're having, then the thought really never fully materializes. Now, why is that? That's because reality does not respond to your wants. It does not respond to your desires. It responds to what you are structured to produce. You get what I'm saying? That leads us, oh, there we go, to an important realization for the traders, or really for anybody, to be honest. And that's that your next level does not require better strategy. It requires an expansion of your internal state. It requires an expansion of your internal state. So you may be operating or conditioned at 3K months and casual discipline. Oh, that's crazy. But once you then begin to perceive and come in contact with those 10K opportunities, inevitably that's going to come also with bigger expectations, and higher responsibility. But all of this then begins to put you in a state of cognitive dissonance. Now, what is cognitive dissonance? Cognitive dissonance is when you're holding two beliefs, but those beliefs contradict each other, which then puts you in a state of mental discomfort. So consciously, you may be in a state of wanting wealth, wanting money. You may be associating with wealth consciously, wealth with security, freedom. However, subconsciously, you associate it much deeper with different things. So you may believe that wealthy people are assholes, wealthy people are rude. You may believe that money changes people. You may believe that wealth makes you lose relationships. And subconsciously, your subconscious job is to keep you safe. It's to keep your identity safe, to keep you safety, okay? So it's going to quietly begin to sabotage or keep you away from moving forward towards wealth. So you then begin to avoid areas where wealth is constant, where wealth is actually prevalent, or you may even sabotage financial momentum or even procrastinate on opportunities that may bring you wealth. And that's because your subconscious job is to keep you safe. So consciously, you may be looking at wealth as a way to improve your life, but subconsciously, you're looking at wealth as something as it's going to make you someone that you don't want to be. And your subconscious is always going to win because emotional intensity always overrides intentional desire. Now, a key point there is that the subconscious does not assign meaning through logic. It assigns meaning through emotional intensity. And that's why traumatic experiences tend to shape people so strongly. Because it's not that it's just something just happened to them. It's because the emotional charge of what happened was so powerful that they encoded a meaning about that particular thing. So a good example would be, because we're here for traders, is an individual who's just getting a funded account or trying to improve more money with their funded account. So they're trying to, let's say, just grow their account. They may be wanting to grow their account, but throughout their journey of trading, they've experienced, let's say, a big emotional charge. Let's say losing their account or blowing their account or losing a high dollar trade, right? That individual is going to be trying to expand their account, but consciously they're going to believe that they want to do that they want to make more money. But subconsciously, because that's where the emotional charge is relying or staying at, they're going to be mostly focused on trying to avoid the emotional pain that came with the loss. So they're going to be closing out their trades early. They're going to be hesitating on execution because they don't want to, because their want more is trying to stay away from the emotional pain rather than maximizing their profits. Getting what I'm saying? So, the subconscious does not rely on the logic. It does not rely on logical thinking. That's the conscious mind. The subconscious is going to be mostly focused on the emotional intensity of these certain things. One of the biggest, I'm running out of water. One of the biggest reasons why traders can't hold that next level is because their emotional vibration is unstable. Now the market is already volatile. So if your internal state is also volatile, then your decisions are going to be chaotic. They're going to be completely chaotic. So let's take an individual where their account size actually grows. Right, let's say they went from $50 per trade to $500 per trade. Yeah, okay, yeah, that should be good. Now, they're working with the same setup. Same setup, same strategy. Remember, this is an entirely new level for them. Entirely new level for them. But since they're moving from $50 to $500 per trade, they're now too focused on the money. They have not seen this amount of money rise. They have not seen this 500 go to 2 bands, you feel me, in an instant. Because they're so used to seeing maybe 50 plummet to 150. So now they're on 500 and that bitch is at a band, 1500, right? So now they're constantly looking at their P&L, even when they close out a trade. Or they're constantly closing their winning trades early. This is because their emotional state, their internal state has not expanded enough to hold what comes with a $500 per trade. Now, their mind is going to try to bring them back to a familiar state because they are not used to the $500 per trade. So they're going to try to pull them back to the familiar state of $50 per trade. Not consciously, but energetically. You get what I'm saying? So, the entire summary of this video is to understand that the best traders in the world, are not the ones who make the most profits. The best traders in the world are the ones who are able to hold expansion without retreating. Okay, the best traders in the world are not the ones who get there the fastest. They're the ones who can hold expansion without retreating, who can hold the emotional state until it is stabilized into their identity for it then to feel normal. Okay, you have to be before you become. You have to be a person who can sustain $500 per trade before actually doing it. Because if you try to jump into a new level where you are not vibrationally aligned, you are going to collapse, and so within the entire system of what you may have created slowly, all going to go to shit. So, that's lucky why you kind of suck at trading. You don't suck, you're not ass, you know what I'm saying? But you kind of suck. Maybe after this you don't kind of suck. Deuce.